This is a video blog for Tuesday the 6th of January, audition dates for Year 2's group choreography. Okay, so we started off with learning Amy's phrase, which there's a video down below. Now, Amy's piece is a comedy piece and requires performance more over technique. The movements were still a little tricky and required quite a lot of core strength at some point, but it was mostly the facials that she was looking at. So for me, I found Amy's really easy to do, and I enjoyed Amy's choreography the most because it's comedy, which I'm quite natural at anyway. I find it quite easy to make a tool out myself and people laugh at me, and that always works off. So we learned Amy's choreography, and it wasn't that long of a phrase, and it was fairly simple. And then we had a creative task, which there's another video underneath. And she said use the stimulus of a bike or in the park. So I decided to go for the bike, and I wanted to show that I was getting on the bike, and my trousers got stuck in the chain, and I was trying to get off the bike, but I fell. So I took an over-exaggerated step onto the bike and pulled a happy expression because I was happy that I got the bike. And then I started to imitate riding the bike. And then started to like move my leg out, which you'll see in the video. And then my expression changed because I'd got my pants stuck in the bike chain. So yeah, and then we got into a pair, which there's another video underneath the final phrase. I was with Leah, and we put the two together. So her phrase was about being on a park bench, reading the paper and seeing the bike, so it made perfect sense to go from Leah's into mine. So we were sat on a bench pulling an abstract position, an angular position with our legs, so it looked quite aesthetically pleasing because it was different than rather just sitting on the floor. And then we saw the bike and took a dramatic comedy walk, so we linked arms and did the over, which you'll see in the video, and then went into my phrase, so it was really nice. So I really enjoyed Amy's piece. My strengths of Amy's piece were that I was able to get into it quite quickly and knew what I wanted to do. My weakness was that I could have put more technical elements in there because I didn't really have many technical movements in there. Then we went on to Laura's, which is a video underneath, and Laura's was a fairly simple task, but it was different than Amy's. It didn't require performance, but it required more technique and abstract positioning. So she gave us this phrase, and it was a little weird. I didn't know what to do with it as much as Amy's. So me and Daniel were paired together and were told we had to create something leading on from Laura's. So we struggled with this, and we didn't come up with much movement material really, so I was quite disappointed with this. And I don't know, it was just really weird. And we created more like spiral movements and just stood still and moved our arms more. My strength with Laura's was I was able to pick up her motif phrase. My weakness was I wasn't able to get more hands-on with it than the previous one, so that could have been more better. And finally we learnt Jess's phrase, which was an abstract piece, and it's a very technical piece. So she showed us her phrase and taught it us, which there's video underneath. And I struggled with this one because there was elements of pausing and really weird movements that I found. So I struggled with picking it up, but I was really happy with it because it was a challenge to me. And then we got into a creative task, which I was with Hannah for, and we were really struggling of what to do because we couldn't like go from Jess teaching us something to then make something that was poo. So we really struggled with what to do with it, and we tried experimenting with relationships and levels and various positioning. And the final piece that we ended up with is underneath. I really liked Jess's. as it was challenging and it was more technical. My strengths of Jess's was I was able to pick up the technique. My weakness was that I struggled with creating stuff, which I shouldn't really do, but I did, because I didn't really know what to do with her idea, because there wasn't a lot that I could do with it. We then got told which groups we were in, and I'm in Amy's group with Daniel, which I'm really pleased about because I loved Amy's piece. So my strengths of the session were that I got into creating tasks. I was professional in the audition and I performed to the best of my abilities. My weakness was I struggled with creating some pieces that were more of my weaknesses, like Jess's and Laura's, because it didn't require performance over technique, so I struggled with them too. My target for next session is to be able to contribute ideas to Amy's choreography and perform the best that I can for her piece. And my area to improve is to be more versatile and not just stick to comedy elements dance, because I need to be more versatile. That concludes this vlog.